Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to CoreWare's webinar on CoreILLA. This is the first real introduction to the world of CoreILLA. And what I'm going to do is basically go over a demo. Once we get done with the demo, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. I'll try to get to as many of them as possible with the remaining time that we have. CoreILLA is an email marketing platform that also acts as a CRM. And it also has automations built into it. So it can automate not only just your emails, it can also automate the actions inside of your CRMs and your sales processes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start going through. The first screen that you're going to see is the actual dashboard that you see when you log in. So what you're seeing here is the dashboard. And to get to the dashboard at any time, you can just click the icon up here for the CoreILLA icon. And as I said, CoreILLA acts as a true CRM, and everything starts at the contact record. So I'm just going to pull up my contact record. And what this does, it gives you a good overview of how of everything that your contacts are up to, and also kind of gives you the ability to kind of see where people are and navigating on your website, as well as any of the emails that they've opened and anything like that. So you'll have all your contact information up here. You can add as many custom fields in here as you want, so you can collect as much information as you need to really market to your clients correctly. Here you can also add, you'll see any tags that are associated with the contact record. You'll see what lists that they're associated with, and you'll also see what automations that they're currently in. You'll also be able to see any task notes, emails, conversations that you might have been having with them. And then over here, you'll be able to see with the site tracking functions of CoreILLA that it's logging all of the pages that I've been to, which gets us into some highly segmented targeting, and we'll talk about that as we get further down. So how do you get to how do you get a contact record into the list? Well, the first thing that you need to do is either have a form on your website, or the contact record needs to click a link in an email that you send. And what that's going to do is associate them, that contact record, with that person, and it allows the site tracking mechanism to then watch them as they navigate your site. So when I'm saying forms, you'll be able to build forms, and you can embed these on your website. And there's multiple ways that you can do forms with CoreILLA. And the options that you'll have are inline form, and what inline form means is that you can embed that form into the actual web page. You can do floating bars either at the top or bottom of the page, and you can do floating boxes. And then we have the standard modal that you'll see for pop-ups and stuff like that. And when you go through, you can actually assign multiple things that happen when people fill out these forms. So you can add a tag to them, you can add them to a deal, you can email the results to somebody in your sales team or somebody in your marketing team, or just anybody in your business that you think might benefit from having the information that they have a new contact in the system. And then you can also subscribe them to a list, and we're going to get into that as we move forward. And you have the full functionality to morph and edit anything that you want to do with the forms. You can add in additional blocks. You can add in additional HTML code if you want to completely customize it. You can add an image to it. You can add CAPTCHA. What is this? This is a CAPTCHA, and what that does is helps protect you from getting spam bots signing up for your newsletters. And then you can also add a subscribe and unsubscribe block to your forms, and so you have the full ability to kind of customize these things as you need. And then you also have the ability to direct where they're going to go on submit. So you can have them open in a URL. You can have it do an on-page thank you. And then this will just kind of list out everything that's going to happen when somebody fills out that form. So when somebody fills out that form, they go into the contact record, and now that they're in the contact record, and we kind of went over that. Now you're able to target them with email campaigns. And with this, campaigns are really easy. And as you can see, you can go in, you can tag which emails are which, and that what that allows you to do is kind of filter as this portion of your CoreILLA starts to populate. You can come in here, you can build templates out for your different things. So if you have a newsletter, you can build a template for it, and then that template just stays there. And to create a campaign, it's really simple. You just click create a campaign, and what we have here. So the first thing you need to do is give your campaign a name. This name will stay completely internal, so we're just going to name it test. And then you have to select your campaign type. So we have the 6 different campaign types here. You have the standard, which is like your regular one-time email send. So that would think like your weekly product update emails or something like that. We have an automated sequence. So if you wanted to build kind of a full funnel marketing email campaign, you can do that. And then you can also autoresponders would be the things when somebody submits a form that'll pop up and send them an email to say thank you, or however you want to set that up. One really cool thing is the platform offers the ability to do split testing. And what I mean by split testing is you can send 2 forms of an email out to a segment, and what it'll do is send a small portion to one segment and a small portion to the other segment, and it's going to look for which platform or which email performs better in open rate and click-through rate. And once it kind of determines that, it will then send the remaining population that is left the winning email, and that'll just help you increase your open rates and your click-through rates for your campaigns. RSS triggered, I don't use these, but if you have an RSS feed built, you can trigger emails to fire based off of that RSS feed. And then we have date-based campaigns. And what I mean by date-based is, so if you have your contact's birthday, you can send them a birthday, a happy birthday, here's 10, 15, 20% off your next purchase. Or just simply saying, hey, thanks for being with the company for a year. And those are the kind of options that you have when you're thinking about your campaign types. I'm just going to go with standard. So you just click on standard, and then you're going to hit next. And what it's going to do is take you to the list. And here you'll go ahead and select the list that you want to use. I'm just going to select the master contact list. And then from here, if you want to further segment down, so say if I just only wanted to segment somebody that was tagged as a CoreClear person, then I could build a segment, and you can name the segment whatever you want to name. And what you're going to do is look for conditions. It's going to say select a condition, and you can see the different ways that you can kind of target your list by. So, so from the contact details to the actions that they've taken, to the site and event data that they've done on your website. So if you wanted to target people that have only been to a certain web page between a certain amount of time, you can do that. So we're just going to use the contact details. And like I said, if somebody had a tag associated to them. So you just click tag, exists, CoreClear, and then you're done. And now all that's going to do is pull everybody that's in that list that's tagged as a CoreClear member, and only send the email to those people. So the next thing that we're going to do is build an email. I'm selecting from scratch. As you can see, the templates are in here. So we have a basic template for a newsletter, a right column email, a left column email, custom HTML. So if you're using an additional email builder like Stripo or anything like that, you can select this option, take the HTML format, and just drop it in there, and it will build the email for you. And then you can do a text-only email. These are generally used when you're automating kind of your sales emails or anything like that, based on actions that have happened. So we're just going to select newsletter from now, and I'm just going to show you the kind of drag and drop functionality. It's very simple. very simple to use. So you'll pick your sender details. You'll pick who it's going to come from. Make sure it's the right emails that you want it to come through, and then you go ahead and put in your initial subject line. But you don't have to worry about getting that just right just yet, because you'll be able to refine that at the end of this process. So once you get into the email, what you're looking at is very much it's called drag and drop. So you can basically change out anything in here, shift the format of anything that you want to do. You want to add a text block, you just drag it over, drop it in, enter your text. You can see the different font sizes, colors, all the different stuff here, and then there's additional items that you can use to list, number, strike through, to build out your email. Images are easy as well. You can also use the image block if you wanted to do GIFs or GIFs, whatever your preferred pronunciation of the word is. You can also use this image block to do that as well. Changing these out is really simple. It comes equipped with a library. Since we're doing CoreILLA, we'll throw in Gorilla. And it drops it in. Once you kind of have that block set, you can move on to the next block. And you can completely customize how some of these things are. So if you wanted to change the padding between the blocks, you can just click on this and it'll start lowering it down. You see how it's kind of moving the text around. You can get it to look just the way you want it to by using some of these different things. One cool thing about CoreILLA is you have the ability to personalize content. So if you wanted to address, so you were sending an email to somebody and you wanted to use their first name in the contact record, you just click on first name, and you just wanted to use it. So it's highlighted here, so it'll drop it in there, and that email, when it goes out to that person, it's going to grab the first name of that contact record and insert that name in there. So you can completely personalize the email experience. Once you have your email completely set up the way that you want to set it up, the next thing you do is click next, and it will take you to a summary. And this is where you can kind of go in and refine anything that you want to refine. So you can go in, make sure that your that your subject is good. You can add in any pre-header text that you want to add in here. Some platforms, they have pre-header text, so you'll see the subject line and then just a little bit of text underneath it. That's what's meant by pre-header. You can make sure that your from email is accurate. Make sure that the list is accurate. Make sure that the correct address that you want to display is accurate, and then turn on any of the tracking options that you want to do. And then once everything's set, you can send a test email. I always recommend this. So I use very much trust but verify. So we have the ability, and you can. This takes a second to kind of load, but what it'll do is it'll show you how the email is going to look in Gmail, Yahoo, Apple Mail, Outlook, and how it's going to look on an iPhone. And as I said, always trust but verify. And so it pops up and it'll give you a view. And it'll just kind of show you how everything's going to look, so you can get a feel for what your customers are going to see. And once that's set, you're just going to hit, you can schedule the email to go out at a future date, or if you just want to send it now, you leave that off and you just click send now. That's going to pop up another pop-up to ask you to verify if you want to send now. So it's just a safety mechanism to make sure that everything is completely set and you actually do want to send that email right then and there. So next thing I'm going to move into and talk about is automations. And automations can kind of scare everybody a little bit, but what automations do is allows you to automate the process of adding these tags, of adding the different things that people might be interested in. So this is set up for CoreClear, our CoreClear product, which is credit card processing, merchant processing arena. So the way that these work, and I'm just going to show you just the simple format of how it works. So if somebody comes in and they go to our website with the site tracking that's set up, that site tracking is now watching each contact as they go. And if they're a known contact in our database and they have the cookies installed and they're crawling these pages, it's counting, and it's watching how many times how many times these people are on these pages. So what we wanted to do was go ahead and say, okay, now once this person has been on that page twice, so they're probably interested in the product, and I want to go ahead and tag them as a core clear, interested in in the clear 8500. So it's going to verify that, okay, yes, they have met 2 times. All right, so now they're going to be tagged interested in core clear. Now, what can you do with that tag? So now that we have that tagged, we can now build another automation to go ahead and then retarget that population. And you don't have to worry about really kind of thinking through a lot of these automations. There are plenty of recipes in here to get you started. So they're kind of pre-built automations. You just kind of have to go in and modify the web pages, the amounts of time that you want to wait between your sends. You can even remove some of the emails out if you like. So what this email series does, so what the automation is looking for is that as soon as a contact is tagged as a clear 6200 or a clear 8500 is interested in, it's going to wait 1 hour, and then it's going to send that person a first product email. And you can see a preview of the email here. You can actually edit the email from right here, and build the email from right here. And I'll just show you a little bit of that functionality. And it's just really simple. You go in, you make the changes that you want to make, and just hit save and exit, and it's going to take you right back to the automation. And then you kind of think about, okay, they received that first email, they didn't quite convert, so we're going to send them a separate email. And then we wait. Now, what the machine is now going to be looking for is if they completed this goal. And if they completed the goal, what will happen is they'll bypass. So if they actually went in and purchased the 6200 or the 8500 back on the first email, then the goal is complete and they will be removed from the rest of the automation. So you don't have to worry about over communicating after the purchases has been made. And once the contact hits that goal, then it'll automatically end the automation for you, and they'll receive no more emails about that. So that's kind of automations and kind of wrapped up. And there's welcome series automations. There's product interest tagging. There's abandoned cart functionality. All of these recipes are pre-built, and like I said, you just kind of have to morph them and make them your own. The next thing that CoreILLA offers is a deals pipeline, and what you're looking at here is you can basically put people into this, so you can kind of watch them all the way through the sales pipeline. And you can set this up and modify this to whatever you need it to kind of look like, to get to a good point for any type of sales activity. And for like the people in the gun industry, to say, maybe you have a really high end machine gun that is really expensive, and you only have a certain amount of clientele that you want to reach out to about that. You can create like a deal pipeline for that, so you can kind of keep track of where people are in that. Have you contacted them? Did you show them the shotgun? The machine gun. You can kind of build this and morph this out, and you can set these up as automations, but you can also just drag and drop them. The next functionality we have is conversations, and what that does is allows you to set up the a website chatbot, and you can also link in your Facebook Messenger. That does come at an extra cost of about $19 a month. It just gives you a place, like you said, you can have the website chatbot on your website. So if somebody wants to ask you a question right there on the website, you can monitor the box from there. And if somebody's not monitoring it, it'll send an email to whoever you kind of set it up to send an email to say, hey, somebody's communicating with you on one of your messenger apps. So this is your list, and we recommend that you keep your list small and kind of around your main revenue streams, and then use tags a lot to really to segment your audiences further from where you normally are. Next thing we'll talk about is some of the site features that we can do. So once you get into the plus plan and above, you have the ability to do landing pages or like thank you pages or just any or build some custom pages that you might need for like a small email marketing campaign or anything like that. So like this is just a simple thank you page that you can build. Yeah, and once again, so it's very much drag and drop, and there are a bunch of templates that you can use to build out what you want to build. Everything that we did talk about, there are reports in here that cover each one of these functionalities, and you can use these reports, and those are the things that you saw on the dashboard, and you can get in here and look and see how are your campaigns performing, how are your automations performing, how are your goals, how are your contacts moving through your goals. You can look at contact reports. So everything's kind of out there and available for you. Getting into the overall functionality and building and kind of with CoreILLA, the thing that really makes CoreILLA stand out is the fact that we have deeply integrated it into Core Store and into CoreForce, and especially into CoreForce. And what that's doing is it's pulling what we call deep data, and that deep data is a way where we can use your sales data to actually then build segments off of that, and then get into predictive sending, and also conditional content, and other things like that. But that's on the very much like the professional and the enterprise level accounts, and really built for the super ecom platform users. Inside of CoreILLA, you can set up user groups. You can add new users, and you can kind of set up whatever you need to set up, and restrict access to whatever. We'll just create a new user. So you'll just go in, you'll fill in their name, their last name, give them all the, give them a username, their password. And you can set up multi-factor authentication if you want for, just for some extra added security. And then you can build out groups. So these groups, what that group is, it allows you to build groups. So if you wanted to have like so the admin group can see everything. If you wanted to build out a sales group, they would only be concentrated mainly on the deals, and campaign building. Maybe a little bit of automations. If you want to, your marketing team, you can just build out different groups and give them that different level of looking at the different information and access to the different parts of the platform. So you can completely restrict that. So you don't have to worry about your employees getting anything that they don't need to get into, or seeing things that you don't want them to see. So there are those safety and security measures in place. And for CoreILLA, for the initial onboarding and everything, what we will do is we'll help you import all your contacts. We will help you. We'll build the if you're a Core Store or CoreForce member, we'll do the integration for you, as far as sticking the API keys in, making sure that your master contact list inside of CoreForce is set up, and is syncing correctly, and just making sure that your contact records are talking. And if you're on the plus plan and above, that's where you get into that deep data integration. And as your customers, once we get their cookies on them and they start making purchases, that deep data integration is going to start sending all that sales and product information to the system. And that's it for the end of the demonstration portion of CoreILLA. I want to open up the platform for questions and answers. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. Oh, Linda, that is a great question. So the cost will vary based on the overall platform, and what we have. Everything is done by number of contacts and the amount of power in the platform. So we have a light version, which at the 500 contact level starts at about $9.75, and then grows based on the amount of contacts that you have. And then once, and the more power you have, it gets a little more costly. And anybody that is attending this, I'm going to send out some additional information after the fact that will cover the cost of and the contact levels so you can kind of see what you're getting as far as power, as far as capability at each level, and the number of contacts that are required to kind of be in that level. All right, Matt. Yes, there are click and link tracking both in the analytics reports and the campaign reports. You'll be able to see all the way down to what contact actually clicked on what links inside of your emails. And you can actually use that as a form of retargeting as well. As far as the integration with the CoreForce site, what it is we build a list inside of CoreForce, and we have that list update. So if a new contact record does populate into it, it will then be added to the CoreILLA platform, and it's integrated through an API URL and an API key, and we take care of all that for you. If you have CoreSorce and CoreILLA, we will integrate the platform for you. And as far as like setup, if you have CoreILLA, and we'll help you. So we'll help you with the integration piece, getting the contact records imported and all that stuff. And then right now we're offering 2 1-hour training sessions to kind of to help you out and kind of help you navigate yourself through the platform and kind of figuring things out. And yes, Ari, that is absolutely correct. The email composer is very simple. The drag and drop functionality, very, very simple, and it just keeps it very, very user friendly. It only supports SMS messages, and those you basically have to buy credits for that. And I can include the pricing for the credits. This is meant to communicate with your current customer base. Now, what you can do with this, there is a Facebook integration where if you want to add that functionality, you can use you can send basically the contact records that you want into your Facebook audience creator, and it will drop them into whatever list that you might have set up for retargeting with ads. But that's again just kind of getting back into targeting your current customer base. This is designed to move and to move your current customer base, not necessarily attract new ones. But the form intakes that we have here on the website that you can put on the website or in pop-up form. So if you have new people coming to your site, you can collect their information with those forms, and as they fill out those forms, it will actually create a contact record in the system for you, and now you have a new contact in your system that can be considered as a marketing qualified person. Okay, that looks like that's all the questions that we have. I want to thank. Oh, 1 second. That is correct, Evan. What Evan asked is, with CoreILLA, you can forget Twilio and Mailchimp. Yes, that is absolutely correct. That's all I have for CoreILLA. I do want to thank everybody for attending. You guys are great, and please be expecting an email from us shortly with with the pricing information and the replay as well. But thank you everybody for attending. Have a great afternoon and a great weekend as well. And thank you from the CoreWare family.